No, there's retaliatory. There's retaliatory strike,
That's
and then
literally conflict.
Not a conflict.
That's conflict under your own definition.
It's not though. It's a retaliatory strike.
It literally is, dude. You just defined it as conflict.
No,
Acknowledged it with the back and forth that they had to respond, and now you're not acknowledging it.
I just told you there's a difference between a retaliatory strike and a conflict.
Wait, so what is a retaliatory strike? Define it.
It's a retaliatory strike.
Yeah, isn't that not a back and forth? Someone attacked you and then you attack them back. That's a conflict under your definition.
No.
Yes, it is. Define conflict and define retaliatory force.
So retaliatory is you hit me once, I'm going to strike you back to show you I mean business, and that's the end of it. A conflict is...
Okay, so you're saying in order for it to be a conflict, there has to be more than one back and forth? That's still a conflict, though. Like, if I have one back and forth, one debate with you, that's still a conflict.
Right? I don't have a conflict.
The way that you're defining conflict is extraordinarily weird. Like, for example, you would be saying that if we nuked one place, they nuked us back, and that was it. That's not a conflict.
Do you really think we'd nuke once and nuke back, and that'd be it?
No, I'm just saying, in a hypothetical scenario where that did happen, where we nuke them and they nuke us back, you're saying that's not a conflict. That's clearly a conflict, and you know it.
Okay.
Okay, so Trump started conflict? Yeah, dude, under your own definition, it's true.
It's not.
It literally is. Wait, so is it a conflict? Answer the question. Is if we nuke someone, they nuke us back, is that a conflict?
No, it's two nuke strikes.
Are you serious, bro? You're kidding. If we nuke their population center and they nuke us back, that's not a conflict. That's so crazy, dude.
Is that the end of it?
Yeah, that's the end of it. We'll say that's the end of it. That's a hypothetical scenario where that's
two nuclear strikes.
Yeah, and I think that's clearly a conflict.
What would the conflict be after striking?
The nuclear fight, the literal nuclear bombs dropped on each other is the conflict? I don't know. Maybe what's right in front of you, Hair Bear?
No, so they strike, they drop a nuke, we drop a nuke, and then that's the end. Where's the conflict?
That's literally a conflict, dude. Come on, the way you're defining conflict is so obviously simple.
Where's the conflict? Because it's over.
The conflict is the nukes dropped on each other. That's the conflict. A nuclear fight between weapons is...
There's no conflict. It's over with. It's done.
What are you talking about? That's still a conflict. Even though it's done, it's still a conflict.
There's no conflict. It's done.
What do you mean there's no conflict? Dude, what do you mean there's no conflict when they bomb each other with nuclear weapons?
Yeah. One done. Not conflict.
Dude, you're making yourself look really silly right now.
Okay, I'm looking silly.
God. Yes, that is absolutely a conflict. If you don't define that as a conflict, I just think you're crazy for that.
Okay, I'm crazy.
Okay, well, at least you admit it.
I admit it.
Okay, well, again, as it relates to that, that's absolutely conflict. We can also mention other things, like Trump definitely provoked things like the Turkish-Kurdish war to occur by pulling up Kurdistan.
So I will agree with you. I did not appreciate his handling of that in, what was it, Operation Peace Spring, that he essentially enabled to happen.
Yeah, he caused conflict there.
I did not agree with the way he handled that.
Yeah, so you agree Trump caused conflict? Because conflict between Turkey and Kurdistan is conflict?
Getting our people out of the way?
Yeah, but that's still causing conflict in that region, is it not?
He didn't get us into the conflict. Because the Kurds and the Turks...
He caused the circumstances for conflict.
I just said he didn't get us, the United States. I don't really give a shit what happens to other countries because we're not there to protect them.
Yeah, so when you say like us involved, all right, so you're not even talking about conflict happening around the world. Okay, so if you were going to talk about proxy wars, well, he continued proxy wars in Syria, right? He got us involved with Saudi Arabia as it relates to Yemen, which starved 85,000 Yemeni children, right? That's literally a genocide.
Okay, Yemen needs to clean up their own house.
Okay, so starving children means that they need to clean up their own house? What?
Yemen needs to deal with the Houthi rebels on their own.
And does that mean Saudi Arabia should like starve children?
That's their conflict to deal with.
But the United States was helping them, and especially Trump.
We help bad people?
Oh my God, Hair Bear! It's almost like your arguments make no sense. Now, I have a question. We can keep talking about this. You're not acknowledging this at all. There's conflict on both sides from both presidents. They both prop up the military-industrial complex. This isn't a relevant difference between Trump or Biden by any means.
I have never stated that Trump is the savior and that he is without faults.
Okay, well, I mean, well, that seemed to be like the point you were basing it on there, but
No, you asked me why I'm voting for Trump, and I said it was pretty quick and easy. I had more money in my pocket because real wages were up. Now, and the problem
okay.
that people have when they talk about the economy now, they're like, well, people are earning more, but real wages are down about 4%, which means I have less money to spend on goods.
Yeah, but real GDP is up at the same time. So what that tells us is that trickle-down economic policy doesn't work because the overall gains from the economy are not passed down to the average worker. You can also see this with
So Biden's
wages not
economic
going up.
policy
Hold
does
up,
not
hold up.
work.
You can also see this with wages not going up with productivity since the 1980s, since the adoption of trickle-down
You just
economics.
said that Biden's economic policy doesn't work.
No,
Because even
this is not
GDP
Biden's economic
going up,
policy.
it
It's still
doesn't
Trump
trickle
tax
down to the
cuts.
rest of us. So we have less money to spend on things, and things are more expensive.
Wait,
And at the
respectfully,
bottom
we're still under
line,
Trump tax policy. Yes.
okay, I guess we're under Trump tax policy.
Yeah, we
All right.
absolutely are. Every economist would say that.
Well, if Biden reversed everything else, why wouldn't he reverse the tax policy?
You can't reverse all tax policy. That's legislative.
Okay. So then it wasn't Trump's tax policy because it was legislative.
Wait, it's literally what he influenced to get passed in Congress. This is like saying that it's not Biden's PACT Act or it's not
He
Biden's Chip
influenced
and
it,
Science
but
Act.
we elect Congress. Trump doesn't.
Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is that Trump influences what happens in Congress the same way Biden does. Like this is like saying it's not Biden's PACT Act or it's not Biden's Chips and Science Act or not Biden's infrastructure bill. He influenced to get them passed. The same way
And
Trump
I had
influenced to
more.
get
I had
the
more
Tax Cut
money.
and Jobs Act passed.
I had more money.
Okay, that doesn't mean that it's
Okay.
caused by Trump. What policy did he pass that caused it to happen?
The tax cuts. Everyone got a tax break except for folks making right around 400,000. Their taxes went up a little bit. Some people stay stagnant, but everyone else got a
Wait, the
tax.
taxes did not go up from the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. That's a lie.
The folks making around 400,000, they absolutely did.
No, it didn't. So you can look at the tax cuts specifically, right? The top 1%, predominantly speaking, got most of the tax cuts. I'm talking 83% of the tax cuts with the overall like tax policy,
And those are the folks that create the jobs that the rest of us work.
which again we've seen since particularly the 1980s, the adoption of trickle down economics, that wages have not gone up with productivity when they did prior. So they'll only increase your wages insofar as that it meets inflationary needs, not actually increasing with the productivity of the worker, because they only have an incentive to give money to the worker insofar as that it produces greater profits for them long term.
Okay.
Okay, so then that's not actually good incentives in the economy. If we went back to historic levels, we'd have higher wages right now because it is the case that it would have gone up with productivity instead of adopting trickle-down economics. Because this whole idea that specifically they're just going to give money to the workers is a nonsense idea when we can use that money in other ways to invest in the middle class, whether it be infrastructure, whether it be healthcare, whether it be childcare, things that people in the middle class actually need.
Increasing taxes for the top 1%, that they're all of a sudden going to have this philanthropist about them and give me a 20 or 30% increase in my wages, unless my productivity is going to match that so they can get more profit from my work.
No, I'm saying it would have gone on that trend in the past 40 years, but it didn't because of the adoption of trickle-down economics. So obviously restoring tax policy back to historic levels for rich people, right, increasing the effective tax rate for rich people in America absolutely would bring us back to, right, particular standards like that. It's not about philanthropy. It's about how the economy functions. And we can see clearly, given the adoption of this policy, that it changed. Right? That's a clear indication.
Okay.
Flabbergasted there?
No.
And why do you not got a response? You got all these responses to Harry. You want to debate Harry all the time, make all these videos about him, literally create your account on it. But as soon as
I
you
will
have someone
be
who's
honest, I stopped
going to
paying
debate you in
attention.
person, you can't do it?
I stopped paying attention. You went on for a while, dude. I have the attention span of Joe Biden.
Would you vote for a proven sexual abuser?
I'm voting for Trump.
So you are voting for a proven sexual abuser?
I'm voting for Trump.
So are you voting for a proven sexual abuser?
I'm voting for Trump. I've answered your question.
Okay, so would you date for a person that said they would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years?
What was your question?
Would you vote for someone that said that they would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years when they were 40 years old? To a 10-year-old.
So date a 20-year-old.
But a 10-year-old girl, they're sexualizing a 10-year-old.
So would I vote for somebody that say they date somebody that's 20?
Date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. If you'll say you will, go for it.
20 years old.
A 10-year-old girl, they say, okay, so you go up to, so would you be okay with a 40-year-old man going up to your 10-year-old daughter and saying, oh, I'll date her in 10 years?
Why would I let a 40-year-old man go anywhere near my daughter?
But you're okay with Trump doing it?
Date a 20-year-old.
No, saying that he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years, which is a 20-year-old once they
Date a 20-year-old.
reach in 10 years they will be a 20-year-old, but at this point they're a 10-year-old in fucking 5th grade. Right? So why are you sexualizing a 5th grader?
So date a 20-year-old.
But you're sexualizing a 5th grader?
I'm not sexualizing anybody. That's
Well,
weird.
that's what Trump did. Trump sexualized a 5th grader.
Okay.
And you don't have an issue with that? Or maybe I'm saying he'd date his daughter if it wasn't his daughter, or something in common he has with his daughter is sex when she says real estate and golf. You know, things like that.
So I have a daughter, and I think my daughter is absolutely gorgeous.
So if Trump, 40-year-old man, went up to her when she was 10 years old and said, I'll date her in 10 years, right? You'd still vote for him?
First of all, why are you
still vote
allowing
for him, yes or no?
Why are you allowing 40-year-old men near your daughter? That's weird.
I don't have a daughter, right? I'm asking you if your daughter,
Okay.
if there's a 40-year-old, if there's Trump, and he says to your daughter, because she's walking up the escalator, right, that he's going to be dating her in 10 years, would you still vote for him?
This is the funny thing about society.
Would you still vote for him, yes or no? You're not answering the question.
Hold on. We'll get there. Just relax. So when we have sons and older women talk about how adorable they are, how they'd eat them up, and oh, he's going to be so handsome, he's going to be a lady killer when he grows up, we think it's adorable. And nobody says shit about it. When a man does it to a girl, all of a sudden we have a problem with it.
Yeah, if a 40-year-old woman said to my 10-year-old son that she's going to be dating him in 10 years, I would think that's fucking wild, crazy, and gross.
But society
that's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Who the fuck is we, bro?
Society accepts it.
I don't care if society accepts it. I'm saying that's a bad thing. No, do you think it's okay for 40-year-old women to say that to 10-year-old boys?
Well, you have to apply the standard across the board.
I do apply it. Do you think that's okay for 40-year-old women to say to 10-year-old boys?
No.
Oh, okay. So then what is this argument here? What is this point?
There is no argument.
There is no argument, exactly. So
Right.
would you, if he said it to your daughter, right, when she was 10 years old, that he would date her in 10 years, would you still vote for him?
That has nothing to do with voting for someone.
Did you not answer the question?
No, hold on. I'm going to answer your question. Just settle down a sec, Bubba. So, no, it's not appropriate to say. Absolutely not. I don't give a shit who it is. But that has nothing to do with their job as the president. And that's the problem with society is we try to apply what they do in their personal lives with how they're going to run the country. I do not give a shit what they do in their personal lives. It has no bearing whatsoever in how they are.
So if they grape a child, would you still vote for him?
What?
Yeah, you said, wait, if they grape a child, would you still vote for him? Because apparently, under your view, none of this stuff at all matters to them being president. So would you still vote for them if they grape a child?
Now you're applying hypotheticals.
Obviously, it's a hypothetical. Use your brain, Hair Bear.
Oh, I'm not Hair Bear.
No, I'm just making fun of it. Now, would you want to like actually respond? If he literally assaults a minor, would you still vote for him?
No, because I think
No,
all
okay,
of
so you do care about these personal things. So if
Let
he assaults a
me
woman, you
expand
would?
on the answer there. So no, because anybody that touches children should not be allowed to breathe. Period. Dot.
Okay, but he can assault a woman, and you still want to vote for him?
Did he?
Yes, he was literally held legally responsible by a jury of 9 people for sexual abuse. You're going to sit here and deny that, be an apologist for grape? Is that what you're going to do here?
No, not at all.
Okay, so then would you vote for a rapist?
But that's not what he was
That's
convicted
literally
of.
that's what the judge indicated, right? The only reason under New York state law it was considered sexual abuse
Was he convicted of rape?
Because under the law,
Was he convicted of rape? Was he convicted of grape?
he was held legally responsible for sexual abuse. Now let me explain it.
No, see, you got to answer my question.
He was
This is the
held
problem.
legally.
You try to hold me to a yes or no. I'm holding you to a yes or no. Was he
He was not
convicted
held
of
legally
rape?
responsible for grape. He was held legally
there we
responsible
go.
for sexual abuse. And the reason why he was not held legally responsible for grape is because under New York state law, you have to use a male member in order for it to be considered grape. And she didn't know whether or not like the penetration was from a male member, from a finger, or what it was specifically from. So again, under my definition, that's
And
grape.
she also
I
finds
have a
it
question.
sexy.
Do you think
She finds it erotic.
Do you think
She loves
forceful penetration using your fingers or an object is grape?
Hmm?
Do you think forceful penetration against someone's will using your fingers or an object is grape?
Yeah.
So by that definition, you think it's grape too. Okay? So you might not say that they were held legally responsible for grape, but that's only because of the specific shitty law that exists in New York that doesn't define it as grape unless it is the case that they use like a male member, which is crazy.
I don't know. She seemed
right?
pretty excited to talk about it. She found it sexy.
No, that's not what she said. She said other people find it that way and it's fucking gross that they do. So you're going to sit there and misrepresent what she says to try and demean the fact that she was abused? Is that what you're going to do now?
I didn't misrepresent anything.
That's exactly what you just did. If you actually watched that interview, you'd see that she was not talking about herself, that she was talking about other people and how they view it and that it shouldn't be viewed that way. that it's a violent act.
Okay.
Okay, watch the actual interview. Don't fucking actually do that shit to be able to act like there's nothing wrong with it. That's so crazy.
Settle down. Watch your language. I'm not going to get
if you're going to be an apologist for this type of shit, I'm absolutely going to get a little bit emotional. All right, I would hope that you do as an empathetic individual.
Okay.
Now, are you going to vote for a rapist?
I'm voting for Trump. I've answered
So
your
you're voting
question.
for a rapist. So you don't think that's a disqualifier under your view?
I've answered your question.
So you're voting for a rapist. Answer the question, yes or no.
I'm voting for Trump.
No, say yes or no. You won't answer it directly because you know it's fucked up.
For Trump.
Are you voting for a rapist, yes or no?
I'm voting for Trump.
And is he a rapist?
No, I'm voting for Trump.
Under your definition, he was. So what do you dispute about the case? Name one piece of evidence in the case.
I already told you.
Name one piece of evidence in the E. Jean Carroll case.
I didn't look at the case because I don't.
So you don't know the case, yet you said he's not a rapist. That's called fucking confirmation bias. You don't know anything about the case, yet you assume that it's wrong. Wait, I have a question. If someone was going to babysit your kids and they were held legally responsible for child rape, would you let them take care of your kids? Or would you think that them being held legally responsible is a good enough standard to believe it's true?
That's a loaded question.
Oh, can't answer it, can you? Can't use a little bit more complex thought. Answer the question.
No, I'm not a very complex person.
Obviously, I can tell that.
Thank you. I wasn't trying to hide it.
Dude, fuck, bro. I mean, if you're going to admit that and you're not going to answer
me, bro. We're not bros.
You're so confident making your videos against Harry, but as soon as you have literally someone in front of you debating you, you fucking immediately fold, bro.
I'm folding.
Yeah, you are folding here.
Like a folding chair.
Jeff Bear's folding, everyone. Jeff Bear's folding.
Like a folding chair.
Just like a folding chair, dude. Are you actually you're seriously coping so hard right now?
I cope with a lot. It's tough.
Yeah, I know.
Anything else?
Yeah, I can keep going. Can you name one piece of legislation that Trump influenced to get passed that benefit the middle class more than it benefit rich people?
Why do I give a shit if it benefited rich people more than it benefited me as long as it benefited me?
Well, no, I'm asking, can you give me any policy that Trump influenced to get passed that benefit the middle class more than it benefit rich people? Because you're saying Trump cares about everyone, right? He doesn't care just about rich people. So I'm asking one policy that he passed that influenced.
Words in my mouth. I never said Trump gives a shit about anybody.
So Trump doesn't care about the middle class?
I never said he gives a shit about anybody.
Okay, but does he care about the middle class? Yes or no?
Yeah, sure. He cut my taxes.
He does, right? Now, can you name one policy that he influenced to get passed that benefit the middle class more than it benefit rich people?
But see, that's the problem. I don't give a shit if it benefited rich people more than it benefited me.
You just say you don't have a policy.
I've already told you the tax cuts put more money in my pocket.
Tax Cut and Jobs Act did not benefit the middle class more. That's a lot.
It absolutely did. I have more money to spend.
You want to bet? How much money you want to put on that? Want to put a K?
Put a K?
Yeah, put a K on that.
No,
if you
I'm
think
not
it benefits the middle class more, put $1,000 on it right now.
See, there you get. You just tried to change the question. I didn't say it helped the middle class more. I've never said.
Literally my whole question. If you didn't comprehend, that was my whole question.
I've told you 3 different times that I don't give a shit if it benefited the rich more than it benefited me, as long as it benefited me.
Okay, again, but my question was, can you name one policy that Donald Trump influenced to get passed that benefit the middle class more than it benefit rich people? That was my question.
No, because I don't care about policies that benefited me.
But you don't want to answer my question. Essentially, you don't have a policy that answers my question.
I just told you no, because I don't give a shit if it benefited the rich more than it benefited me. I worry about things that benefit me. I don't care at what scale.
Yeah. So again, I think that's ultimately hilarious. You don't have an answer to my question, and you were trying to answer it in ways in which made you think that you were answering it, but you weren't. Right now, the Tax Cut and Jobs Act specifically, where a predominant amount of those cuts went to the top 1%, went to rich people. So if you care more about rich people for giving tax cuts rather than giving tax cuts to the middle class, well, you can go and you can pass those things, but we know what trickle-down economics does. We know that it actually does not allow for wages to continue increasing with productivity. We've seen that since the 80s. So if you want to negatively impact the middle class, advocate for tariffs by he wants to get rid of federal income tax, and he wants to have tariffs, you'd have to have an 85% tariff to be able to replace the same governmental expenditures, which means inflation. Tariffs cause inflation, increase consumer prices for everyone. You think inflation's bad now? What would happen if we had an 85% tariff on every good coming into the society? And we'd have to continually increase them because there would be decreasing revenue amongst these particular types of revenue strains, as it is the case that less people would decide to then send goods here now comparative to when there was a lower tariff. So do you want to completely isolate us from the entire economy, decrease our economic growth by instituting these 85% tariffs on every single thing?
Was there a question in there? Man, you rambled on for about
Yeah, I
3
said,
minutes.
do you want 85% tariffs because Trump is advocating to get rid of the federal income tax? Or do you want to cut social services?
I'm 100% okay with getting rid of the federal income tax.
Yeah, so how are you going to replace it?
Cut government spending, cut out all these ridiculous...
So Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, the same things that Trump just said that he wasn't going to get rid of, that actually Joe Biden was trying to dismantle? Is that your claim?
Sorry, I was reading a text message. Give me a sec.
Yeah, a little hard to multitask, huh?
It is. I'm simple-minded. We went over that.
Oh, yep, we can clearly tell that.
I know. I'm not trying to hide it. I didn't even graduate preschool. They said my finger painting sucked.
Dude, now you're just trolling, bro. Now you're just trolling. You're trolling because you're coping? Like, come on, bro. You're actually so funny, bro. You're so funny.
Good, because that's all I try to be is funny.
Yeah, I know. It's funny when you have such crazy opinions. Lance, thank you for the $5. I appreciate it.
Oh, he's getting donations?
I always do. Okay, so, I mean, Trump loves the poorly educated, am I right?
I'm not here for Parker to get donations. He can do that on his own channel. Yeah, Parker doesn't want to talk about Tara Reid. See, this is why I don't really debate. It gets a little obnoxious. And I don't pretend to be the smartest person in the world. There's a lot of things I don't know. But he did have a lot of gotcha moments. I don't know a lot about a lot, and I don't pretend to hide that. Not afraid. I was just getting annoyed. And I didn't want to say something that was going to get me in trouble with TikTok. Yep, I lost. I accept my loss with grace and honor. Yes, thank you. Very afraid and embarrassed. Well, I'm not going to rethink who I'm voting for. I'm okay with voting for Trump, and y'all can say what you want about that, and that's okay. No, Parker got heated. I didn't answer the question the way he wanted me to answer. Absolutely annihilated. Aw, that's adorable. Okay, I lost. So be it. I know, I'm getting a little emotional. I'm going to cry, but thank you for the cowboy hat. It was a valiant effort. I gave it my best. Why would I vote for Biden? Views dropping, I'm okay with that. Hey, people can say I lost, they can say I won. Doesn't bother me at all. It was tough to get a word in, and I'll be honest, when someone goes on for 3 minutes, it's tough to remember what the question was. I have the attention span of a 6-year-old. So if you don't get to your question quick, I'm going to lose track. Why would I log off? You all can run away. Doesn't bother me. Not emotional. I'm happy. Let's see, if you spam, you gotta go away. Thank you. I never said I could debate. I never pretended to be a debater.